Mick Messer, an 18-year-old McKinney resident, hung his ornament with the mindset, go big or go home, just like many others, except he really did go home. Or to a house, that is. An Irving middle school was on lockdown status after reports of a man with a gun on campus yesterday morning. With the 2018 version having a record-breaking amount of dislikes, people held high expectations for this year's, which actually came out last week. I'm probably one of the only students who follows Pete Delkus on Twitter, but he sure was right about that Arctic blast. When was the last time you called an Uber? The company is widely known as a modern taxi service. But what about an Uber in the air? The conditions for tonight's game aren't looking so bright. We may catch a break just in time for tonight's game, however. The theme for tonight's game is red, white, and blue, following the theme of today's pep rally. The one thing, however, that I don't want to be red is my skin from this Texas heat. Brenna, what should I expect? While parts of the state are in ashes, Texas A&M is working on technology that could save the state. Lightning strikes 6,000 times per minute in the United States, and unfortunately for one Prosper family, the odds were not in their favor as this tragedy found its way into their home. Moving away from the topic of puppies, Casey Boston is here to talk about people, YouTubers more specifically, or the lack thereof. Coming up. I know it can't just be me that has noticed all of the sick people around school recently. 2 customers enjoying a meal at a McKinney Wingstop were hospitalized after a car came crashing through the front doors. The driver claims that they thought their car was in park, and it is undecided whether or not charges will be filed. Luckily for those who are injured, the injuries are not life-threatening. If there is anything that Texas can agree on, it's this. It is freaking hot outside. Yeah, no, whenever I first saw the video, I thought YouTube was almost being a little petty. Uber claims that test flights for the Uber Air program will begin in select Texas cities starting in 2020, one of those cities being Frisco. But this break from school allowed students to use their fare tickets to have some fun for the day. Definitely have to agree with that. You know, with the new school year comes a new football season. That's right. And Meet the Eagles was just 2 nights ago to kick it off. But it looks like we're going to be reaching actual winter temperatures sometime soon, I hope. Brenna Gibbons has your fast forecast. Could a deadly virus from China reach the U.S.? These are all the top stories you need to know for today. I'm Cristina Folsom with your Eagle Minute. The UIL 6A State Wrestling Championship results are in from the competition this weekend. LJ Richardson placed 4th, Taylor Martinez placed 4th, JJ Bauer placed 6th, boys placed 11th, and girls placed 19th. And a big congratulations to Rylan Bonds, who is our UIL 6A Wrestling State Champion. President Donald Trump is in India after a speech to over 100,000 people in Ahmedabad. He stated that he is still committed to India and promised to boost trade and fight terrorism. Trump said, "Americans love India, America respects India, and America will always be faithful and loyal friends to the Indian people." But the company is set to increase their physical footprint with a new store opening at Stonebriar Mall in Frisco. Let's see who's ready to saddle up for a boot scooting time. Growing up in Brooklyn, playing on basketball courts like these was a huge part of Jack's childhood that fueled his passion. As made apparent, nothing has changed despite the challenges he has faced over the years.
Hey, Christina, I heard you got mad skills. Hold on. Can Jack do 3? All right, here we go. Way to go, Christina. 3 basketballs up the same.
Everyone is setting up behind us for the start of Prosper's homecoming parade. Cameron, you know, this is the last year that Prosper is going to have one united homecoming parade before the opening of Rock Hill High School next year. And an undercover investigator was hired at the Petland in Frisco from July to August, and what they found goes on for pages. For example, this says that a Yorkie puppy was so sick that his head had to be propped up. It was really awesome getting to see the community get together one last time with one high school. I really enjoyed seeing some of the floats. Personally, my favorite one was with the little karate kids fighting each other on the float. Uber claims that it would take about 7 minutes to get from Frisco to DFW Airport, what is usually around a 30-minute to an hour drive depending on traffic. Students have been proven to have higher success rates in the classroom when doing projects such as these instead of piles and piles of homework at home. Okay, so y'all have an amazing float. Looks like y'all put a lot of effort in it. Can you tell me what you did to prepare to get this float ready? The community really seems to love to throw on their cowboy boots and have a wild time. I'm Cristina Folsom reporting for Eagle Nation News. Prosper. Astronomers in Hawaii discovered that the Great Red Spot on the planet Jupiter is actually a collection of storms rather than just one. They figured this out by using the Juno spacecraft, a satellite that orbits Jupiter and takes various pictures of the giant planet. As it turns out, there are gaps in the storms, and the storm can even be compared to a jack-o'-lantern when looking at infrared images.
They didn't think that he was going to make it. Most people don't, and actually a lot of the kids that were there with him, they didn't make it.
At just 2 years old, Ian Price was found to have a tumor the size of a baseball in his head. After noticing delays in Ian's development from the life-threatening cancer, surgeons worked to remove it. The likelihood of survival was slim, and they knew survival would mean future complications, such as having difficulty with daily tasks as simple as walking. Ian, how many girlfriends do you have?
9.
9? I thought you had like 13.
I changed it up.
Can you name them?
Pleasure and Asia and Cat and Pleasure.
As made obvious through his love life, Ian enjoys daily activities just like any other person, if not more than that. With his caretaker, Keely Sorensen, Ian attends Taco Tuesday at Rosa's Cafe every week.
Every Monday I get a text from him making sure that we're going to go to Taco Tuesday this week. And he loves to sit and eat tortillas while he watches his cars. There are a few locals who come in regularly, and they always talk to him and say hi to him, and they always want to know where he is if we do have to skip a Tuesday for any reason or switch our days.
I like GMC and GTR.
Not only does Ian love to watch cars, but one of Ian's favorite hobbies is playing with Hot Wheels. Here are some of his favorites.
It's cool and awesome.
The joy on his face is not just for looks. Ian is a genuine friend to anyone who crosses his path. He has created friendships with nearly every neighbor of his, simply from riding his iconic scooter around the neighborhood. He said that it doesn't matter what he's doing. He just wants to be in the White House.
It's the people's house. It's not the Trumps. It's not anyone else's house. It's the people's house. So I just want to be a part of helping out the people's house.
And so he did. Mick only has one word to describe how he feels after experiencing this opportunity.
It makes me feel accomplished.
And he plans to return if invited back next year. I'm Cristina Folsom reporting for Eagle Nation News. Prosper. A token of gratitude transformed into a moment of learning. It's as simple as inserting the token, selecting their book choice, and waiting for their book with priceless excitement. Forever. Permanent. Irreversible, they say, at the idea of a tattoo. Some people like pictures of their dogs and images with simple meanings. But for this tattoo artist, he lets the art on his arm tell his faithful life story. After leaving college in pursuit of a part-time job, James found himself working at a small tattoo shop in El Paso that did not exactly paint the picture of his dreams.
So like the tattoo shop that I first worked at, it wasn't like a real tattoo shop. It was, this is gonna sound pretty nuts, right? It was like a storefront that was run by a prison gang that was working for cartels in Mexico.
With his past job left behind him, he turned his faith into a career. Overall, they have made about 206 masks and continue to make more. And this is how.
The main way we start is we start with a 9x6 rectangle of fabric, and we layer it twice. And then once we fold them over, the mask, when we sew, will look like this. It's 4 layers of 100% cotton fabric. So it's breathable, just like you were wearing a cotton t-shirt, and it's comfortable. And then once we do that, we attach in the ribbons on the inside so all that the seams are hidden. And then we are able to make the pleats, to pleat them like this. And then when you put them on, I think I can fit into Haley. Haley can put hers on and show you. Go ahead. The pleats stretch and they'll cover your nose and your mouth completely.
Not only are they a mother-daughter duo, but they are also a student-teacher duo in Prosper ISD. When taking brain breaks from school, they work diligently to make masks for other teachers, students, and community members.
What may look like the average student fidgeting at their desk is not what it seems.
Kids have to, be present, and they have to pay attention, and it's a long time to just sit there. It'd be hard for me to just sit there for 90 minutes, so thought, why not have something where they can move and get their work done.
Students voted on whether or not other children should try this out, and they all said,
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because I think it will help a lot of people focus like it helped me.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Cristina Folsom.